Good morning, everyone. It's Mish here, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you are a returning supporter, I thank you so much. It's much appreciated. As I said in my last video, I've now gone over that 1,000 subscriber threshold, so I'm really happy about that. So today we're going to be doing some work in my Margarete Miller Collage challenge book. I got this at a thrift store. I love the feel of it, and I love the size. It's about just over 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. So it's a great size for collaging. If you haven't seen some of my previous collages, then I do have a playlist. So today, our prompts, I'm trying to get in frame here. I got so much stuff on my desk. I haven't had this much stuff on my desk in ages. I am doing a couple other playlists, so if you're into junk journaling, I do have a new series started under Junk Journal Joy playlist, and I also do a Daphne's Diary glue book collage journal. Okay, so our prompts this week are a stirring tool, a dictionary page, a line of poetry, a label, a path or road, and bonus of circles. So I'm not going to do a stirring tool. I will be doing the bonus, which is the circles. So I'm going to start, as I usually do, just by getting some stuff down in the background. Sometimes I'm asked what I use for glue. I use the Elmer's Glue All. I find that this is a really good glue. If I go sparingly, it doesn't warp paper. It does, but not to the extent if I go lightly. Now, there's a big difference between the school glue and the Glue All. And in my opinion, because I don't have the formulas, but the school glue, which is a cheaper glue, has more water content. So it's going to cause your pages and papers to warp more. It's a little bit slimier, I find. And yeah, so that's kind of what I use. But for this, I've been trying to use more of tape runner. Now, as a card maker, I use tape runner a lot. That's what my kind of go-to is when I do a lot of my cards. So yeah, so I just use this because it's not going to allow my paper to warp at all, and I just find it's good for paper on paper. So I'm just starting to get down a little bit of background. So this is my dictionary page that I cut out in a big circle. So I kind of got 2 for 1 there, and I'm just wondering about where I'd like it. I sometimes just tack things down, but with something as thin as a dictionary page, if I tacked it down and I go to move it, unless I just do a little bit, then it's just going to rip. No, I'm just going to get that down. I'm just going to go around the edge. And for this journal, I don't care if everything's welded down. You know, it's not going to undergo a lot of wear and tear. As long as it stays down and doesn't come off. And even if it does, I could tack it down with a little bit of glue. Okay, so just want to get a few things on the go here. We have a weather warning in effect today. I'm actually doing this today on Sunday, March the 24th. We have a rainfall warning and wind warning. So it didn't really start until late into the night, after I had gone to bed. But I woke up with the rain kind of lashing on the windows, and the gusts were so strong that it's like literally shaking the house. Chester was a little bit perturbed, but he's here in the craft room. I'm going to save a little spot. I like to tuck my journaling prompt in behind my image. I don't know if I'll ever want it to go back and look, but if I do, then it's there. And I just want to cover those words. Okay, and then, actually, I would have liked this one over here, but that's okay. We can just... I'll just do something like that maybe. I had an idea in my head. I might have to go away and come back if I start faffing around. So just get that up there so that they're peeking out. And then I have another little circle I'm going to put in the middle. And I have this that I'm going to use at some point. So my path or road, what I've used is a couple of my photos. When I lived in the UK, I used to go on all kinds of hikes and travel around. And shortly after I was there, I went to Box Hill and Dorking and did a little hiking. And up along Box Hill, there's just these lovely paths. And I took this photo that, I don't know, I just always felt like this was symbolic of something. It was like a path or a journey, and what is behind, what am I going to find when I get to sort of the other side. And then this I just love because it's a river, but it has like these stepping stones across. And again, I kind of felt that this was a bit symbolic, like, the footprints in the sand, or maybe being assisted by the Lord or a higher force in some way. So I've always wanted to do some stuff with the photos. So I thought, well, this is my opportunity because it really fits the prompt. So I'm just kind of thinking about my layout, because the other thing that I have is for my line of poetry, I actually have the whole poem, and I thought that it was really fitting. And this is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. When I was in elementary school, we had to memorize this poem, and it's always stuck with me, kind of again as a symbol of choices and the choices that we make. And sometimes I have taken the road less traveled, and I have felt that was good. That was a unique thing. I printed it out on vellum, so I just wanted to back it, and I have some sewing pattern, which is just a really thin kind of tissue, and I thought it would be good to tack that on there. I was going to just use a little bit of washi, but I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted this. I think I want it kind of like that. And I just kind of thought that this layout would be kind of symbolic of my life's journey. Don't want to get too heavy, but it is Sunday, so I guess Sunday is the day for reflection. And then I wanted that on top. And then this. Actually, what if I move this around and put that circle on this side? And I like the stripes going up and down. I don't know why. And then have that with that kind of being like that. No, I like it the other way. I like this kind of sticking out there, and that covering that hole, and that underneath there. And then I'll worry about where the picture's going to go. So let's just get this down. I just went into my scrap bin. Some of these papers came from a paper pad, and some, like this one came from the Garden Story DigiKit by Rach and Bella. There's a collaboration going on right now. So if you're interested in junk journaling, then you can do hashtag junk journal jigsaw, I think it is, or looking on my playlists. So there'll be some information there as well. So I'm just going to get that down too. The thing with collage, sometimes I do audition things sometimes, but once it's down, if you don't like it, then keep doing stuff until you do like it. See, the thing that I kind of didn't like, I could move that way. Yeah, I think that would work. Like so. And then put that kind of there, like so. And then I'll embellish on top of that. Maybe I'll put those pictures. So the other thing I did with my pictures is I took one of my crocodiles and I made kind of ticket corners. I looked around for photo corners, but the only ones that I found are really old, and I've got transparent ones, gold ones, and black ones, and I really didn't like. Maybe the black ones might have looked nice, but I really didn't like that look. So I think that's a good placement. Both there. All right, so I'm just going to tack those down for now, because then I could move that. Let's say there. Okay. It's committed. And then this one, actually, I want this to go over this way a bit, because I want this one to be over this way some. Okay, I'll leave that there for now. So then this bit, I think the only way I'm going to get this down, I'm going to put that down first, and then I will just tack this down. I have actually some, but that would show. I'm just going to use some Elmer's glue, I think. I'm not really bothered. I'm just going to tack down the corners just so it stays down on here. And I don't even care that it's well framed. It is collage. The Elmer's glue does dry clear. Okay, so then I'm just going to use some of this excess to wipe on the back there. And just tack that down. Okay, so that's going to go about there, I think. I kind of wished I had done more collage when I was actually in the UK, but I didn't, which is a shame, because there's a lot of souvenirs and stuff that I had that I just really didn't keep. And if I had done some collaging, I would have had a collage book. I think I am going to, at some point, just do a little bit of washi on the side. It will add some interest as well. I just want to put my arm in that glue. Okay, so we've got that bit down. So then the other thing is circles. So, I did the dictionary pages in circles, but I also just went to my stash and I found a lot of different circles that I had, and I thought that I could layer some up. There's a dictionary page. Now that's a scallop circle, so I'm still considering it a circle. And then I thought like I could layer that up and maybe put that there. I kind of like how that looks. So I just want to use just a bit of glue to get that down. The thing about doing, so I used my punch to cut out some of the dictionary pages. And the thing to note is that if you're using a punch, a dictionary page is too thin to actually punch. It'll just kind of mangle in the punch. So you want to layer the dictionary pages up. So instead of just taking your punch and doing kind of one page, one little thing, I just layered up like three, did different types of dictionaries, and then I did kind of three at once. And it just allows the punch to get a grip on it. So I'm thinking I might do that there. The other thing that I have that I did was I played around this morning with my Tim Holtz field notes. This is one of my favorite stamps ever. And there's a lot of labels there. So I just kind of stamped a bunch of labels that I thought would kind of go with my theme of kind of walking in the woods. I took a lot of pictures of wild berries and flowers, and there was lots of birds and butterflies and stuff. So it was kind of more of a nature walk as well. So I kind of thought that that would fit my theme for sure. And what if I had collected a specimen? I just stamped these on some coffee stained paper and just some doodle paper that I got at the thrift store. Kids doodle pad. It's like a newspaper print, which I love as well. And then here's a little collection tag that I collected, maybe a specimen. And then I have just a bunch of other labels that they're like sticky labels. So that was kind of indicating the journey. Maybe I'll cluster that kind of there. And then my field note can go over there. And then what about, so I just went through my stash. I cut my my fingernail broke off, so I'm finding it hard to pick things up. So there's another little label. I could have put that right underneath there. Under there. Which might have, no, I don't want to take away from the two parts that I really don't want to take away from is kind of this little area here and this little area here, because that's kind of the path and the journey is there. But I like that, how that's working. So I think I'm going to just put that down there. Okay, and this was just a sticker. And let's say there. And then this little guy is going to use some tape runner. And we'll get him like there. Oh, loving that. Okay, and then that there's another little label there. But I think it's kind of got a gold. Actually, that wouldn't look too bad. Or I could kind of, oh yeah, that's kind of nice, like that. Down there. I kind of like that feel. So this is a sticker as well. If you watched my video yesterday, I had said I was going to go off to the thrift store, which I did. And it wasn't too much. I always go to the books first and try to find like a botanical or illustrated gardening books. I love the watercolor illustrated ones. They're hard to find here. I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I think in the summertime when we go around to different communities and stuff, I always pop into any thrift stores around there too. But, so I did get one book, which was good. But then I went over to kind of like the lace and material section. And there wasn't a lot of selection at all. But I found this kind of bag of just remnants of material. And oh my goodness, I first looked at it and I thought, no, there's nothing there, because the ones that were folded sort of on the outside, I wasn't really feeling it. So I thought, no. And then I thought, well, it's only $5. You know, if I was to order something off of Amazon, I wouldn't know what I was getting really either until it came. So just take a chance. Well, I'm so glad I did, because the laces, like lacy material, tartan plaids and shiny stuff, and oh gosh, it was just, the more I dug into the paper, the bag, the better it was. So I did that, and then I went to Tim Hortons and I got a latte, which I haven't had in ages. I'm kind of liking that heart. And I like this. So I cut that heart out first, and then I took the punch and punched around so that I could get the kind of the heart more in the middle. And I think it does it need a bit of color? I think so. I think it needs just a splash of color. So I'm kind of happy with that, because I could also put, a label coming out of it that I could write on at a future time, sort of to indicate. So I just did some, those are too small, just like a little banner. The other thing I have is these sticky ones. So I went to Staples a long time ago and I got a bunch of just normal, or maybe I got these at the dollar store, and then I just did a bunch of my own stamping on it, just so that I could have them for projects and stuff. So that might be an idea. That doesn't really work. So if I had like a little flag coming off there, or maybe this is one that I've already written. Maybe that's a little note that I've already written about the day. Possibly. I think I need something down here. This is where I was thinking I was going to start waffling around. That's too big. I've already got the specimen one, so I don't need any more of those. I do have a travel label and a collect things label. What if I collect memories? Okay, so after some deliberation, I'm back. So what I did, or what I kind of liked, is I had this label that I was playing around with. So I'm thinking that I'll put that up in that corner. I did go to my washi tape stash and I added some washi tape around the poem. Oh no, that's stuck down. There we go. Around the poem. Just need to concentrate for a second. I only want this kind of peeking out a little bit, like so. Perfect. And I added some little clear washi tape to the sides there. I got this a while ago on Amazon, and it's just one of the kind of little pet washi. So I just put a little bit on the sides there, which I think is kind of subtle, but I liked it. And then in that corner there, I'm thinking I'll do a smaller one of these. I was considering a larger one, which is underneath a bunch of paper here on my desk, up there in that corner. But I thought it was a little bit too big. So I thought that I would just do another one. And then we could tack this down and put this in the corner. I don't know, I found this one that the prompts were good, and when I looked at the prompts I was like, oh good, I can come up with some good ideas. But gosh, the more I got playing with it, the less that I struggled more with the layout, I guess is what I'm trying to say, than I did with the prompts. So with the Tim Holtz stamp set, I just stamped. I used that stamp just to stamp that, and then I used the same set to stamp this little bird, and I felt that I needed a little pop of color up at the top, so I just went to my paper stash and picked up some pink paper just to kind of, and I'm going to use it down here too, which is kind of draw it in a little bit, and then that's where I'm going to put the little birdie is up in here. But I was thinking that I wanted something underneath there that I think has blown away and all the excitement, like a little maybe this. I had a little circle here somewhere, and I think when I flew things around it flew away. Just to do a little bit of layering there. So I'm not being too fussy with that one. And then I can get that side of the picture tacked down. And I can get my little bird label down there. He's singing for a supper up in that corner. I'm kind of wishing that I had put that down a little bit, but she's there now. And then again from the Tim Holtz, I got this little collection label. I stamped that off, and I thought that would look good with this little cluster here. And I had another little strip of paper. And we'll just get this stuff glued down. Doesn't fly away. Like so. And I think that's enough. But I love how it's looking. So I did want to do just a little bit of stamping before we go. So from that same Tim Holtz, there's a couple stamps. I like to stamp off first. And then, because I don't want it super dark, I was kind of thinking I could put that, maybe put one up here. Oop. And then I could put one down here to draw that together. Now I am using archival ink, and I meant to switch to StazOn. When you're doing a photograph, I think StazOn is a better option if you're actually stamping on non-porous, like glossy surfaces. So as I've been using for years, I use archival ink for a lot of my stamping. But again, if you're doing non-porous, you might want to look at Memento. But I didn't. So the only thing is it may smudge. So before I close my book, I'll wait a while just to make sure that it's good and dry. And then we can add a little stamp there. And maybe up there. And maybe there. So then that kind of draws it together a little bit, makes it look a little bit more, I don't know, vintage maybe? It makes it more like a specimen book, a field guide. And then, oh, and the other thing I wanted to stamp is the date. I often forget to do the date, but I'll put the date down there. I love dating things. It makes me feel like I'm a clerk in an office and I just stamping things. Right. So then I just kind of felt that this area was still a little bit, I don't know, my eye was just drawn to the middle of the page and I didn't like that. So I thought, well, I'd add maybe a circle in the middle here. Kind of like in that little butterfly. And this is just a sticker pad I got from Michael's. Yeah, see, I like that better. And while I've got it out, I might as well embellish a little with some little stickers. You see, I have the stuff, and I often just don't use it. I say, oh, nah, or I'll save it for a better project, and then it just accumulates. Okay, well, there's my layout for today. I believe I do have all the prompts aplenty. So thank you for watching. If you did like this, I would love for you to give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. And I do have other videos that have just come out and are coming out, so I'd like for you to check them out too. But until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and healthy, and bye for now.